So here we are at the wonderful Shipley Glen Tramway, and what we're going to do is we're going to have a little behind the scenes tour, which I've been dying to do since I was a little nipper. I used to come on this thing up and down as a kid all the time. So the tramway was the brainchild of a Sam Wilson, who was a local landlord and also a showman who owned and operated a lot of attractions up here on the Glen. And he wanted a way to bring people up the hill, which is a very steep hill, and it runs all the way down to Saltaire. And obviously Saltaire was a very popular attraction to bring people up from down the bottom end and up to the top of the Glen. So it has a 1 in 7 gradient, it's 440 yards long, and it's a 20-inch track gauge, just for all you railway geeks out there. I actually knew the original owner of the tram. I was friends with his kids, so we used to get free rides up and down as a kid. So let's delve behind the scenes. We're going to visit the engine room at the top and the bottom, just so we can have a look at how this tram works. So here we are in the motor room for the Shipley Glen Tramway, which is the top station. And right down here we've got the large drum, or the large wheel, which winds the cable and pulls the trams up and down. And we've also got air brakes at the top here as well, which obviously work like a car disc brake basically. And I'll just show you a close-up of that now. So there's the air brake system, and as you can see the disc just attaches to the wheel there to slow it down, and there's 2 of them. And also the large drum just under here, which has got the cable wrapped around it. And then if we look underneath, you can actually see some more of the mechanism down there. Yeah, the cable basically is wrapped around this, and it's sent all the way around and back out underneath the floor here. You can actually see the cable reel just there, as the cable heads down the hill all the way to the bottom, round another drum and back up. So basically like a cable car system, but under the ground instead of above you.
Ready to roll?
It was just saying the lower gear down there, or the lower wheel.
This bit here has got the cable round it. The big circular at the top.
Yep.
Then the smaller circular, that's got the gear underneath that's run by the shaft.
And then there's a big rod that runs underneath here, and the motor is underneath the shop on the other side. So what it does is it turns a spindle, which turns this big gear at the bottom, which then turns the larger drum to drive the cable. So he was just saying all of this down here is original. The wheel is original and everything like that. There has been some modernisations, hence the big block of concrete there, which is the load-bearing concrete. So a few modernisations, obviously bring it up to modern health and safety standards, but other than that, it's pretty much original. He said they've had this wheel out before to replace the bearings, and they have replaced a couple of the rods that run underneath to the motor on the other side. And the motor as well used to be a gas-powered motor. It's now electric. It was since the 1930s, you said?
1930s, yeah.
So pretty much original as you see it right now. Now this is run at the minute by volunteers, and Bradford Council are actually the landlords of the land that it sits on. But I've just been told it has a 125-year lease on this tramway. So it's not going anywhere anytime soon. However, it does rely 100% on the income from the tickets to keep this tram alive. Now, it's all run by volunteers currently, so no salaries are taken. But if you can, and you're in the area, please come and support it. Just pop in, 20 minutes, have a ride on it, and then job done. It just helps to keep it alive, because so many times this tram has nearly closed, and they keep fighting to keep it open. So please do come support it if you're in the area. So it's worth mentioning as well that these cars are not the original Victorian cars. They have been replaced quite a few times in its history. But more recently, in about early 2000s, 2006, they were replaced. And I've been told the original, or these replacement cars here, they cost £26,000 each. And so they could only afford one on each side, because the original cars of this were double length. So you would have had another one on the front, hence why the platform is a lot longer on both sides to fit a double width car in. So what they did, because they couldn't afford it, they just bought one for each side, which is sufficient today anyway. But he did say they cost so much because they had to be obviously specially made for this railway, but also because they had to have a self-braking mechanism installed in the trains for modern health and safety. So if anything happened to the cable on the way down, they would brake themselves and stop. Just in the trees at the side of the tramway, you can see here what is now an old abandoned car. And I think this is one of the original chassis from the old trucks that used to run up and down, or the trains. You can see the suspension there. No brakes on this one. Now used for scenery and theming at the side of the tramway. So at the bottom station, there's a lovely little vintage sweet shop down there. And at the top end here, we've also got another shop. So let's have a look inside there. So here we are at the top, and you can hear the motor for the tramway underneath here. So the drive shaft runs underneath here from the big wheel that we saw. And then the motor is under here. I can feel it moving under my feet. But this is a lovely sweet shop at the top, vintage, might I add. And there's also a lovely little shop at the bottom as well. And here's the top station as we exit onto Prod Lane. And we've got this lovely little vintage sign here, look. So built in 1895, and a lovely little entrance into the tramway here. But all the attractions that you may remember as a kid, and the reason that the tram was built, were all up here at the top, which is Shipley Glen. So you had the children's fairground, you had the toboggan slide, you had the roller coaster, all up the top end. And you also had some things here as well.
Are we ready when you are, when it's safe, yeah?
Perfect.
Perhaps it's easy if you look at this side, because I feel the cable. Well, the teeth on this one. No, I'm not taking
The old street lights as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, there were people walking out. If you do it single, I don't walk out. All right, then you'll probably get the people walking and walk out. Yeah, but you walk third. Yeah. You're on white top. on the lad coming up like. Little pigs.
It's only when you actually walk up this hill through the woods that you realise how much that tram is needed. It's so far up here. It's a lot steeper than what you think as well. But yeah, one more time, if you want to come check the tram out, please do. It's so cheap. It's open weekends, Saturdays, Sundays from about 12 till 4, bank holidays, the usual summer holidays, things like that. Check on the website, Shipley Glen Tramway, also their Facebook page. Please do come and support it. I hope you enjoyed that little behind the scenes tour at the Shipley Glen Tramway. I'll see you in the next video here from Shipley Glen. Bye for now.